Hello, this is Dr. Peter Murano, and today we're going to discuss perhaps one of the most underrated exercises in all of strength training, the suitcase carry. Despite its simplicity, this exercise develops many of the physical qualities that become increasingly important as we age, including balance, stability, posture, grip strength, and functional core control. That's 5 benefits right there. And it is one of the best anti-rotation exercises out there. And we need to appreciate the significance of that statement. Best of all, it accomplishes these goals with a relatively low orthopedic cost, making it an excellent option for older adults interested in maintaining lifelong capability. Now, that statement I just made about low orthopedic cost, allow me to quickly explain. When we exercise, muscles are only part of the story. Every exercise also affects the body's orthopedic system, its bones, joints, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and the spine. Orthopedic cost, then, refers to the amount of stress placed on these structures. The goal is not to avoid orthopedic cost altogether, because some stress is healthy and is necessary for adaptation, but the goal is to obtain the greatest possible benefit while keeping the cost, the orthopedic cost, reasonable and sustainable. A suitcase carry is exactly what it sounds like. The exerciser holds a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or other weight in one hand and walks while maintaining an upright posture. The movement resembles carrying a suitcase through an airport or carrying a heavy grocery bag into the house. Although it appears simple, the body is actually working hard to resist the forces created by the uneven load. Now, some of you are no doubt already figuring out that the suitcase carry shares many similarities with the farmer's carry. Both are loaded carries that train grip strength, core stability, posture, balance, and gait mechanics, while teaching the body to remain upright under load. Both are highly functional exercises because they mimic real-life activities, such as carrying groceries, carrying luggage, or household items. The primary difference is load distribution. In a traditional farmer's carry, the weight is held equally in both hands. You see it on the right there. This creates a symmetrical loading pattern and allows heavier loads and emphasizes total body strength. It's a very good exercise. In a suitcase carry, the load is held in only one hand. You see it on the left there, creating an asymmetrical challenge. The body must resist being pulled sideways, which forces the core, particularly the obliques, the quadratus, lumborum, and the deep trunk stabilizer muscles, to work harder to maintain an upright posture. And for older adults, the suitcase carry offers a unique benefit because everyday life is often asymmetrical, like it is, right? We carry a grocery bag in one hand, a briefcase, a backpack, a laundry basket, piece of luggage, whatever. The suitcase carry trains the body to handle such real-world demands safely, while improving lateral stability and reducing the tendency to lean or compensate during the movement. And in simple terms, the farmer's carry is often the better choice for developing overall carrying strength. However, the suitcase carry is often the better choice for developing anti-rotation strength, lateral stability, and functional resilience for daily living. Ideally, I would say that older adults should include both of these exercises as part of a well-rounded strength program. So let me briefly explain this anti-rotation business. As soon as a weight is placed in one hand, like with the suitcase carry, gravity begins trying to pull the body out of alignment. You really feel that, especially if the weight is heavy enough. And the torso wants to lean toward the weight. You will definitely feel that pull. The pelvis wants to shift, and the spine wants to bend. All of this is going on while the muscles of the trunk, hips, and shoulders have to resist these forces continuously if you are to remain upright as you walk. And this ability to resist unwanted movement is known as anti-rotation, and it is one of the most valuable physical qualities for maintaining balance and control during daily activities, and I would add, one of the most valuable physical qualities for avoiding stumbling and falling. And you know what? Many people make the mistake of assuming that the suitcase carry is just a grip exercise. Well, it does include grip, but in reality, it challenges a large network of muscles throughout the body, which is why it is such a good exercise. The obliques and deep abdominal muscles help stabilize the trunk. The quadratus lumborum, which we mentioned earlier, helps prevent side bending. This fellow in the cartoon wasn't doing too well with that. The medius stabilizes the pelvis during walking, and the forearms and hands maintain the grip. Even the muscles responsible for posture are working continuously if you are indeed standing straight and tall as you should be in this exercise. And the result? A full body exercise disguised as a simple walk, all because of that load you're carrying. I think we all can realize that most activities of daily living occur one side at a time. We carry grocery bags, we move luggage, we pull hoses, we carry tools, and we transport various household items. Rarely are these loads perfectly balanced as we carry them. The suitcase carry directly prepares the body for those real-world situations I just mentioned by teaching it to remain stable while managing uneven loads. This makes the exercise particularly relevant for older adults seeking practical strength rather than gym-specific performance. And I might add that as you're performing the suitcase carry, try to keep your gaze from dropping down, looking at your feet. Look straight ahead if you can, and remain in an upright posture. You know, people wonder about what kind of exercises they can do to improve their balance as they get older. Well, first we have to realize that balance is not merely the ability to stand on one foot, although standing on one foot in front of a wall can be a good balance exercise to start out with, especially if you close your eyes. Balance involves controlling the body while moving through space. That's where it really becomes critical. During a suitcase carry, therefore, every step requires the body to stabilize and adjust as you're walking. The constant process of this walking movement and required stabilization improves what is called proprioception, coordination, and postural control. And you can think of proprioception as your awareness in 3 dimensions as you move, and especially with your eyes closed. These adaptations may contribute to greater confidence during walking and other daily activities where balance becomes increasingly important. And I need to emphasize that the suitcase carry is not to be completed with your eyes closed. I'm just pointing out that when you do close your eyes in any kind of a situation, suddenly your balance is thrown off. So if you want to work on your balance, you could stand in front of a wall where you could easily lean back into it for stabilization. You could close your eyes and stand on one foot slightly in front of that wall and see what that feels like. And you could also try to imagine where you are in space in 3 dimensions. And this is good training for us as we get older, because we need to have good balance, because there might be a slip or a misstep in our future. And if we have good balance, we can recover before we would fall. And that's super important. But don't think I'm telling you to exercise with your eyes closed. Nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, so you know from the beginning of this presentation that I discussed orthopedic cost and what was meant by a low orthopedic cost, so I'm not going to go into that again. I'm just going to remind us, though, that one of the most appealing features of the Suitcase Carry is its low orthopedic cost. And the exercise does not involve much impact or explosive landing or rapid directional changes, in fact, zero. And there is no need for deep knee bending or complicated technique that would carry with it high orthopedic cost. Yet despite the simplicity here of this exercise, it does create a substantial training stimulus for the muscles responsible for stability and posture. And we just outlined those muscles a slide or two ago. And this combination of high benefit and relatively low orthopedic cost makes the Suitcase Carry especially attractive for aging adults. Now, I just know some clients and some of you listening are wanting to ask the same question, and that is, how heavy should I go with this exercise? And it should be that the goal is not to select the heaviest weight possible, okay? The goal is to select a weight that challenges your stability without compromising your posture. If the body begins leaning excessively or your walking mechanics begin to deteriorate, the load is probably too heavy. So scale it back a bit. The ideal weight will allow the exerciser to remain tall, maintain a normal walking or gait pattern, and demonstrate complete control throughout the carry. There's an old saying, forewarned is forearmed. So what we're doing with this slide information is just covering some common errors to be aware of so that you don't make them, quite frankly. And several mistakes commonly appear during the Suitcase Carry. And some people will lean toward or away from the weight. Others stare at the floor. And some will just rush through the movement. Many unknowingly hold their breath. And that's a no-no. The goal should be, however, to walk naturally, maintain an upright posture, keep your eyes looking forward, and breathe normally. Quality movement is way more important than the distance you travel or the load that you carry. So we said earlier that people mistakenly think of the Suitcase Carry as a grip strength exercise, and it does have a component of that to it, but it's actually also a core training exercise. And many traditional abdominal exercises, if you think of it, are performed lying on the floor. And while those exercises can strengthen the trunk, they do not necessarily prepare the body for real-life situations. How many things do you do throughout the day lying on the floor? Don't answer that. Now, the Suitcase Carry instead is training stability while we're standing and walking and breathing and interacting with gravity. And these conditions more closely resemble the demands encountered during daily living, making this particular exercise highly relevant for functional capacity, capability, and core strengthening. And now I get to give you a quick overall evaluation of the Suitcase Carry exercise. And if I were rating exercises based on their contribution to lifelong capability, the Suitcase Carry would rank near the very top. It is because it develops strength, stability, posture, gait control, and grip strength simultaneously. And at the same time, it avoids many of the risks associated with high-impact or highly technical movements. Forget about those. Don't need them. Few exercises, in fact, provide such a favorable balance between benefit and orthopedic cost. And for that one, orthopedic cost, we don't want a lot of stars. So rather than a 5-star rating there, like we do see in the other categories, we have a nice low orthopedic cost score. So in the end, the Suitcase Carry reminds us that effective exercise does not need to be complicated. By simply carrying a weight in one hand and walking with excellent posture, what could be simpler? We can develop many of the qualities that support lifelong independence and capability. We have to really think about that is amazing. The Suitcase Carry is a practical exercise with tremendous carryover to daily life. Do not sell it short. For older adults seeking strength, stability, and confidence without excessive orthopedic stress or cost, as I've called it, the Suitcase Carry may be one of the smartest exercises available. So I was very happy to be able to talk to you today about the Suitcase Carry, and it can perfectly reflect a central principle of successful aging, and it is this: maximize adaptation while minimizing orthopedic cost. By challenging the body to resist unwanted movement while performing a task, the Suitcase Carry, that closely resembles real life, this simple exercise delivers a remarkable return on investment for older adults seeking strength that lasts. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Pete, wishing you all the best. And in addition to the website, there is a YouTube channel of videos that you can access, and its address is youtube.com/@hardtokillbook.